from one coordinator to another, and that is Todd Monken. But before we do, oh my goodness, legendary NFL analyst Greg Cosell, who, of course, is the nephew of late legendary broadcaster Howard Cosell for some of my OGs here on the channel, had this to say after analyzing Lamar's performance in Cincinnati. And then that'll be a perfect segue into Monk and what this guy's doing so well right now as the offensive play caller in Baltimore.
Most fun watches this year, okay? And was watching the Ravens offense versus the Bengals defense, okay? I got to tell you, Lou Anarumo, I thought, and I know the score doesn't reflect this, he worked so hard and did such a great job with so many multiple front looks, multiple coverage looks, disguise, late rotation. He did so many good things, and I thought Lamar Jackson was so good in this game. I mean, Lamar's had many good games in the league, so, I'm not going to sit here and say it's the best game I've ever seen him play. But given what Lou Anarumo did, and like I said, I thought he did really, really good things. I thought Lamar was absolutely fantastic in this game. And it was a joy to watch both sides of the ball for someone like myself watching tape all the time from just a tactical perspective on each side. And the way Lamar Jackson played, it was a joy to watch.
Some high praise there from Greg Cosell on Lamar's performance, which named him the AFC Offensive Player of the Week after Derrick Henry took home last week's honors. Here's Todd Monken on the play of the century, play of Lamar's career. I don't know. You can rank it the way you want to, but when you had to have it, and when it was an errant snap, and when you go to the ground and grabbed it, and then you all of a sudden get flushed from the pocket, and Sam Hubbard is bearing down on you as a defensive end, big body, fierce dude, you stiff arm the all-out hell out of him and fire a bullet as your body is flowing out of bounds to Isaiah Likely, who went up and just mossed it, who went up and grabbed it in the end zone like only Isaiah Likely can in Baltimore. Todd Monken, classic response. Does it get more refreshing than Monk at the podium? I'll let you answer that.
Like, all right, that's the first reaction, because I thought initially we were going to have a touch. I said, we're going to get a good touchdown here, and then didn't realize it was going to take another 15 seconds for that to develop. But I mean, what do you say? What a tremendous play. By an outstanding football partner. But also, I can't say anything different than what everybody else has said. What a great play.
That audio courtesy of Jamison Hensley of ESPN.com. And yeah, oh shit is right. He went on to say on the stiff arm, on that specific play, quote, I didn't draw up shit. That's what he does. You guys have to essentially make Todd Monken's weekly press conferences appointment viewing. I've had a chance to chat with him in person a couple times, over the phone a couple times, and he is just that way. Just the way he is in front of a camera is the exact same way he is on a phone call in person, outside of the limelight. And he's been such a breath of fresh air. Look, don't get too attached. We had this comment, or at least this segment, earlier in the week when his name came up as an early candidate to potentially fill the New York Jets vacancy if this guy Ulrich, who was promoted as defensive coordinator to head coach when Saleh was fired earlier in the week, if that doesn't end up working out, do not be surprised if that and any other vacancy that comes up, Monken is going to be hearing his name around, because this guy's got this offense humming right now, and they are the talk of the league. Ravens offense ranks number 2, tied with Cleveland, in the NFL in red zone touchdown percentage. I'm shocked that Cleveland's there, by the way, given where they're at right now. In their last 15 red zone trips, the Ravens have scored 14 touchdowns, with the lone exception coming when they opted to kick a game-winning overtime field goal on first down last Sunday against Cincinnati, a 23-yard chip shot for Justin Tucker. Look at what this team's doing right now. That is high efficiency from Todd Monken and company when it matters the most inside the 20. I'm old enough to remember that was their Achilles heel not all that long ago. Finishing inside the 20, not just settling for field goals. And I think Monk and his creativity and his designs and his variety deserve a whole lot of credit. He took plenty of heat earlier in the year about this whole offensive identity thing. And through 5 weeks, even though it's still early, he's got this off. There really aren't that many questions about the offense. Here's where the unit ranks entering week 6. First in total offense. First in rushing offense, 211.2 per game on the ground. 9th in passing offense, great balance. 2nd in points per game, only to Washington. 3rd in third down efficiency and offense. 4th in fourth down offense. And 2nd in red zone offense in terms of touchdown percentage. 75 flat for the last 2. It's just tremendous. As far as the Washington side, 4th in total offense, 2nd in rushing offense, 14th in pass, 1st in points per game, 1st in third down offense, 1st tied fourth down offense, and 15th in red zone offense. I mean, there's some parity here. There's some balance. But as far as Todd's concerned, this guy's got this group working right now. And he's got the opponent, Cliff Kingsbury, a longtime friend of his, singing his praises at the podium.
Reaching out to Todd Monken before you were going to come back into the NFL, kind of what did you take away from your conversation with him that really intrigued you about wanting to come here?
Yeah, I've known him a long time. He took over at Oklahoma State when Dana Holgorsen left there. So I've followed him and just the way he's been able to adapt his personnel and maximize his personnel. He's been successful everywhere he's been. And I was just picking his brain. He's made that transition a couple times from college and back. And just this time around, they had such success last year, running that style with Lamar of offense, what he liked, what he didn't like, what he would have done differently, bringing it in. And so we just had a good conversation. I appreciate him and what he's done there and everywhere else, and just watching it this year with how he's brought Henry in and adapted to that and adjusted the scheme to really maximize who they are this year. It's incredible. I mean, he's one of the best offensive minds in football, and so it'll be a huge challenge for us.
High praise there from Cliff, and I'm sure at the rate he's going, his phone will be ringing after this offseason in terms of vacancies around the NFL, should he want to get back to a head coaching opportunity. So I like Cliff. He's got that place. Look, I actually got my broadcasting career started down in the D.C. area. I worked for NBC Sports Washington for a couple of years, covered the Nats, covered the Wizards, covered the Washington Capitals Stanley Cup run. And one thing that I was really struck by was, and is still to this day, I mean, they're diehard down there. They're absolutely diehard. But they're so diehard, Commanders fans, formerly Redskins fans, that it actually has impressed me that they have maintained such a fan base through all the turmoil, through all the instability, through all the ownership woes. And yet now, with a new ownership group, Magic Johnson Magic's in the ownership group, right? You got Cliff as an OC, Dan Quinn as a head coach. You've got Kevin Durant showing up to games again. They've reinvigorated the fan base. And so, yeah, I get it. I get it why there's this infusion of excitement, hope, renewed sense of optimism down south of us for those of you who are in the Baltimore area. I totally get it, and I'm expecting Sunday to be a show. Despite it being a 1 o'clock slate, I'm expecting this one to be heavily viewed throughout the country. It's the A team for CBS, Jim Nantz, Tony Romo, and Tracy Wolfson. And if it lives up to the hype here on paper, are we looking at back-to-back shootouts? Maybe.